If you ever wanted to start agentic coding or AI coding in general using the help of agents, there were generally just two ways to access those. So there was Claude Code and OpenAI Codex. But the thing with these two is that they provide exceptional code, but the barrier to entry is really high. So it works only if you have a paid plan. If you don't, then you are not eligible. And if you are willing to get started with a paid plan, the plans are really expensive to begin with. Like the basic plan, which is the pro plan of Claude, it's approximately $20. I won't count 17 because it's an offer. Later on, it just gets billed to $20. And for Codex, I believe it's in the same range. So 2000 rupees, that translates to approximately $20. And the thing with these two is even if you pay such a steep amount to just access the agentic coding, the limits are really, really low. And in this phase of institutification of AI, the companies have reduced the limits to just like the bare minimum. So you can't even like do coding to your fullest. You have to buy a higher plan, and that is just unfortunate for us developers who just want to get started with agentic coding, AI coding in general, not vibe coding. Vibe coding is programming without direction or without any knowledge. As developers, we have knowledge, and we would like to utilize the AI to build stuff in a proper and efficient manner. So if you wanted to start with this, these were the only two options until OpenCode arrived on the scene. So OpenCode is an open source AI coding agent. It's completely open source, so it's available on GitHub naturally, and it connects to any type of AI. So it connects to Claude, GPT, Gemini, and much more. And installation is pretty simple. You just put this command on your terminal, and it will install. And for Windows users, npm, and for Mac, Brew works just fine. So I'll just curl it, even though I'm on a Mac. So let me just open my terminal. Let me increase the size, and I'll just say installation. So I have already installed it. Let's see what it does. So it's already installed, but it's pretty simple. So I assume it won't take long for you guys. And to invoke it, you will just type open code. So I believe that teaching is more practical when you implement it directly. So let's implement it in a project of mine, which has not been created using AI agents. It was entirely done by me. So I'll just go into that directory, and to showcase what the code is about, I will use Z. In future videos, I will explain why I use Z, but it's a pretty neat code editor. So basically, it's a Laravel application, and it has basic employee CRUD, create, read, update, delete, and chat functionality between employees. So it's been a long time. I don't remember how I started to implement the chat functionality. So I think this would be a really interesting scenario to see how OpenCode works. So what I'll do, I'll just type here just to clear things up. Then I'll type OpenCode. So it takes a while to initialize, and there it is. So this is the whole CLI application. There's also a desktop application if you are into graphical user interfaces, but I prefer the simplicity of the CLI. So let's start one by one. So all the commands are using slash, so slash agents, slash MCPs, and much more. And you can also add tools, skills of your choice. So I'll get into it in future videos. So let me just run the application first before asking the AI to run for me. So I'll just use fly as my server, and it will invoke the database page when Apache. Now I will go to Z. I will say composer run dev. It will start the application, and yeah, there are some errors. We'll get to those. So let's register. I just say someone someone@mail.com. And password is really strong password. Let's create account. Okay, so welcome back someone. This was a pretty simple application. But I forgot how the chat system works. So if I go to chats and if I try to message Jane Doe, hi, yes, look at this. This error happens. I have no idea. I've opened this project after a long time. So let's ask Open Code to help us understand this project. So I will go to Open Code. Now, one thing you have to understand right away is that there are two modes, a build mode and a plan mode. The build mode does most of the creating, editing the files and all kind of stuff. It also does planning as well, but it's mostly that. And the plan mode only plans stuff. So it's more like a chatbot, and you copy the code and perform analytics and all that. So I'll just change to build mode. Now, one awesome thing that Open Code provides is it provides free access to some open source models such as Minimax, and all of these are under Open Code Zen. So you can use this. I wouldn't say as much as you want because there are a bit of a rate limiting, which I will explain later. So I will just switch to it right now, and I'll ask. So as you give it query, it will go through all the files and it will think, it will show you the thinking, and look at that. You have started your own agentic AI. It's so easy. So it's a Laravel 13 plus React 19 initial years and so on. So it explained to me how this project works. Now, as you guys remember, there was an error. So let's see if it can solve this error. I'll just change the model. I just pasted the error and that's it. Let's see what it does. By the way, this is in plan mode, so there will be no editing. Let's see how it works. And look at that, how fast it just checked everything and gave me the solution. So start the WebSocket server, run PHP artisan reverb start. So I'll just go to my terminal. Yeah, there's an error. I know. I'll spin up another instance. I'll just say PHP artisan reverb start. PHP artisan reverb start. Let's see. Okay, so it's doing something. As I said, I haven't been in touch with this project for a long time, so I'm a bit blurry on the workings of it. So yeah, let's refresh. So it has saved our previous message. I'll just say hello, and it's working. So let's do one thing. Let's open another window and let's sign up as another user just to confirm things. Okay, it just goes to the dashboard. Let me close this up. Let me open it in another browser. Okay, so I have opened another window and let's register it. I'll say anyone at the rate gmail.com, a really strong password, create account. Okay, so this is another user, and let's see if the chat functionality still works. So I believe I created this user, someone. I'll just say hi, and let's see if the user received. Look at that. Now, why I use the WebSocket was for the live messages. So I don't want to refresh the page again and again. So I'll just say, how are you? And look at that. Without refreshing, it works. So this has demonstrated how cool open code is. So this was basically like introduction to open code. In future videos, I will explain much more of its functionality, the skills, and how you can connect it to your local models, how you can connect it to the cloud models, and much more. So yeah, that's pretty much for this video. Thank you for watching.